wait for the computer screen to get up and see if you guys can see me, and we'll get into some of this here. So let's see what we got. Do. Come on, computer. Waiting. Let's see. Robert's is saying 5x5, and I can't even see my screen yet. Okay, here comes my screen. All right. I can see me. A couple of the other guys, 5x5. Jacob's 5x5. Okay, good deal. Okay. Happy Tuesday. And for the however many, what do you guys? Well, I don't know. The numbers seem to drop like crazy. So I don't know. We have 272 waiting. We have 157 watching. So I don't know. That makes no sense. All right. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to worry about it. But I want to start, besides saying hello to everybody here, and like I said, happy Tuesday, with some more great news. 6x7. I told you guys yesterday that the court ruled against the Biden administration in 10 states on mandating healthcare workers. And I said, watch, hopefully it won't take long till the rest are in. Late this afternoon, the other 40 states are now in. They cannot mandate healthcare workers to get the jungle juice, okay? So if you are a healthcare worker who has lost your job or is being threatened with losing your job, tell your HR department, your boss, whatever, sorry, that is no longer a federal mandate. Can't go there. Now, that does not mean, and I'm going to reiterate this, that does not mean that the doctor's office, the hospital practice or whatever, can't mandate it themselves. The companies can still do it on their own. It just means they can't use the excuse of, well, because we're CMS, because it's Medicare, Medicaid, because the federal government said we have to. No, now the onus is on the board of directors or the owner or whatever. They cannot use the federal mandate. If they come up and try to say, well, it's a federal mandate, no, it's not. Answer. The court has ruled that. So that is good news for a lot of you guys. Hopefully the ones who are here to see it. Okay. Second piece of information that came out of Washington this evening. Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has launched an inquiry on into supply chain disruptions. They're telling companies like Kroger and Walmart and Target and all these big box stores, please tell us why there's not stuff on the shelves. Yes, I'm not kidding. The government is actually going to pay for an inquiry like this, okay? I can, you can send me the check for how many millions of it is. I'll give you the answer right here. Well, let's see. We have an incompetent White House. We have an incompetent person running, or party running both the House and the Senate, because it's pretty obvious that ships are stuck in ports and nobody's unloading them, that gas prices are ridiculous, that we have all these stupid trucking regulations that don't let independent truckers go into California to get the goods off of these ships. Okay, that there's no safety for these truck drivers to go into the cities to unload these trucks, okay, and that the idiotic government has been paying people to stay home for so freaking long, nobody wants to go to work. There you go. Send me the check. I'll be happy to take the money, okay, because I just answered all the questions that you're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars or however much money you're going to waste on it. And I guarantee once you come up with the report, it's going to be the exact same thing I just said here. All right. But other things that are to tell you something is up, okay? We all watch the news. We pay attention. We try to read in between the lines as what's going on. I'll give you this one. Black Friday, okay? Now, mind you, the fact that retail sales this year were down over Thanksgiving weekend, and it was the worst Cyber Monday ever. Okay. Here's an interesting one. The FBI ran 187,585 background checks on Good Friday for firearms purchases. The most ever. Bad retail weekend, worst Cyber Monday ever, and more people went out and bought guns on Friday than anything else, than ever else. Does that tell you where the mindset of at least the American people are? Yeah. The population's getting the idea real quick that something bad is about to happen. Okay. And people are starting to get themselves protected. I don't want to hear somebody go, well, it's hunting season, and people needed to go out and buy new 308s and 3030s, right? 187,000 people needed a new rifle to go hunting for deer this weekend. Yeah, I'm buying that one. Okay. Worldwide, told you last week about Poland adding gold to their central bank, right? Latest one, Singapore adding 26 tons of gold to their central bank. Are you starting to see this, guys, that the countries are starting to add precious metals like crazy? Where it's coming from, I don't know, because prices aren't moving, okay? And y'all know as well as I do that the coin shops, the bullion dealers, everything like that have slim to nothing in the way of inventory, okay? It's like you want to buy something. Oh, we expect to have more in next week. Okay. But you buy 26 tons of gold, that's got to be coming from somewhere. So, remember, when you buy something, somebody's got to be selling it. And I mean, the miners didn't miraculously mine out 26 extra thousand tons of gold here. This was in May and June, in those 2 months. So, pay attention to what's going on, guys, with precious metals and everything like that. I mean, we saw the stock market take a bath again today. The Fed Reserve came out today and said, oh, gee, we're going to have to accelerate taper and everything like that, speed up bond buying, all this sort of crap. It's going to be an ugly December. Okay. And I may be a little early when I called a drop below 20,000 by the end of the year. Maybe it happens in January. Maybe it happens in February. Maybe the time is wrong. We're going to see a collapse. That's inevitable. Okay. Other one. You guys probably saw what I was telling you about with Austria coming up with they have to, you either have to show up for your appointment or you get fined $4,000 or put in jail for a month. If you miss the second appointment, you get fined $8,000 or put in jail again. Greece has imposed a $114 monthly fine on anybody over age 60 who hasn't got the jungle juice. Okay. You guys seem to remember a little bit about the Greek economy. Remember the EU had to bail them out a few years ago? Ain't exactly a ton of money sitting there rolling. $114 for retirees, a lot of freaking money. Okay. But this is what's going on around the world. They're starting to now fine you, jail you, this sort of stuff for it. At least in the United States, like as Mrs. P and I were talking about just before we started, thank God there's enough laws here. The Constitution prevents a lot of this craziness. All right. So that's what's been going on in the news this afternoon. I wanted to give you the latest on these two. We raised $1,082.38 after PayPal's fees for the food drive. $453.62 for the toy drive. Mrs. P and I are going to take our contribution that would have split between both. We're going to put it all in the toy drive so we can kind of balance the two of them out. So we'll help there. I think I told you guys on the food drive, I've got to do that on the 13th. That is the next time that the food bank is taking donations. So we will go either that morning or the Sunday before and get everything, and then I'll show you guys what we did there. As for the toy drive, I've tried calling the courthouse a couple of times here to see when to go, and nobody's called me back yet. So I will get a hold of them, don't worry. But you guys will see all that when we get that stuff going. But thank you guys for contributions, for all that sort of stuff. That's kind of how the numbers fell in. So, all right. So let's get on with regularly scheduled programming. And again, greetings to everybody. Looks like my moderators are here. Lucky Dame, North Shore, Robert's there. I know Jacob's in here somewhere. There's Jacob. And I'm betting Lorna's flying around in here somewhere. I just hit. There she is. Okay, so everybody's here. So the gang's all here. So for those of you guys that are new here, this is Q&A. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps. It's pretty much the same as every other channel asks you to do. Okay, it just makes it easier for me to see. However, feel free to have conversations amongst yourselves. I don't have all the answers. Somebody in here probably does. Okay, there's plenty of topics that I just don't have expertise on, and I'm not going to try to fake it. Okay, so, if I can't answer it, maybe somebody else can. Just keep an eye in the comments for your questions. Feel free to have conversations in and amongst yourselves. However, in regards to the commentary, a couple of things. First off, leave out all the LGB and the FJB comments. YouTube doesn't like that. We don't need to be getting in trouble. So please don't put those in there. We kind of all know where everybody stands anyway. I mean, if you don't know what those two acronyms mean, you've been living under a rock for the last 2 months. But we keep everything in here PG-13. And so, feel free to ask anything. There is no topic off limits here except for a few. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about the weather, and we can't talk about last November. Okay, and those are YouTube things. They'll shut the channel down for them. So you should know what those are. We just keep it clean. Please, my moderators all have carte blanche to do whatever they want with whomever they want with their own discretion. Okay. Discussion, disagreement is perfectly acceptable. Being a troll, being obnoxious, being rude, calling other people names in here or something like that, that's a one-way ticket to goodbye. All right. I don't question the moderators. They all know they have the right to make that decision on themselves. They don't have to ask me for permission. They just do it. Okay. And there is no second chance. There is no 300-second timeout. So, if you want to be a troll, there's plenty of other channels. Go to a Kardashian channel and be a troll over there. Go to CNN. That'd be fine, but not around here. Okay. As per normal, I start at the top, work my way down. You guys are faster than me, so I try to get to everything as I can. But inevitably, some answers take me a little bit longer too. So if you haven't heard your question answered in 5 or 10 minutes, feel free to repost it. If I see it a second time, I will skip over it. Not a big deal. Okay. Like I said, I don't avoid anybody's questions unless it covers one of those 3 subjects. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth to get myself in trouble. But, whatever you guys want to talk about, believe me, we've run the gamut on everything from politics to world affairs to 1970s TV shows to 80s rock and roll to movies to gardening to God knows what. So whatever you guys want to talk about, it's fine by me. Keeps my brain moving because you guys make me jump from this topic to that topic, and I got to come across as coherent. So it's good to keep the squirrels busy. All right, let's get to the top, see what we got, and we'll go from there. So let's see, we've got all the hellos, and Robert A says, when the doctor suggests a thing, I simply say no. That was all it took for me, and this was a year ago. My doctor asked me if I wanted it. I said, no. Have you got it? She said, no. That was the last we had the conversation. Okay. Didn't matter from there. Romy Davis, HEB grocery store in Texas, has very little in the store. I haven't been in the store since before Thanksgiving, so I can't speak from here. But I have watched some videos. I think Pinball Preparedness had one up today talking about the shortages in some of the stores. I have heard, and again, I think it's going to be location specific. Some are going to be more affected than others. That the companies have made the big push to get everything on the shelves before Christmas so that it can be their food, clothing, whatever would be, and then the whole thing would go to hell. However, I did get an email yesterday from one of y'all, And I'll just read this to you here real quick, but it goes into this subject. I'm a UPS driver in Fleming Island, Florida. That's south of Jacksonville. We pick up packages from the Kohl's in Fleming Island. From Black Friday until the week before Christmas, UPS would pick up 1,200 packages a day just from the Fleming Island store. With that much product leaving the store, they never ran out of inventory, including last year, 2020. This year for Black Friday, we only picked up 500 packages. Today on Cyber Monday, Kohl's only sent out 300 packages. That's insane. We usually need to send 2 to 3 trucks there to pick up all the volume, especially on Cyber Monday. The reason we were told for the low package counts was that Kohl's had little to no inventory left in their store. That ain't what I'm seeing. That's what one of y'all are seeing. Okay. So just kind of making the point out there. You know, I say this to Mrs. P all the time when we go shopping. She's like, oh, I like this and everything. I'm like, get it. She's like, well, I'll wait. I'm like, it ain't going to be here. I can't tell you how many times she's put something down and wants to go back later and get it, and it ain't there. And I'm like, say, I told you, get it. You know, if you see something that you need, get it when you see it, because it may not be there the next time around. All right. Moving along. Where are we? Charlie B just sealed a 5-gallon bucket of wheat and one with 30 pounds of country ham slices. There you go. That's some serious salt. Okay. Oh no, Wanda Anthony survived 5 days of horrible food poisoning. I'm guessing somebody didn't cook the turkey enough. Ugh, not good. All right. Jasmine, good evening from Indiana. Welcome from Tennessee. Let's see. M. Hammer. I already had my FBI check, 1981 M1 purchase. Okay. But yeah, I mean, every purchase you make now, I mean, I go in the store today, I got to have a background check run. I go in tomorrow to buy something else, I got to have another one done. So it's not like you get it once and that's it. You know, because God forbid, did it yesterday, went and robbed a bank today and you know, went to try to buy something else. Actually could happen. So, all right. Patty Bob, food prices are moving up and up. Okay, that's got to be Germany. I saw something today about. I've seen conflicting stories on what's going on in Europe. I saw one that said that utility costs may come down a little bit because they're supposed to have some warm weather. But then I also saw a story that Italy and some other countries in Europe are preparing for blackouts. So, you know, again, depends on the media. You know, who wants what click. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, and y'all know this. It's, you know, the media doesn't report the news. It's just clickbait crap. Everything. You know, I mean, I forget what the story was last week, but I saw a story and it was half a quote out of Biden. And when I read it, I'm like, holy shit, he actually said that, until I went to read the article and read the whole quote, and it completely contradicted what the headline said. You know, I think it was something about lockdowns and everything like that. And then when you read the full quote, you know, it was like, no, this isn't in the cards. But, you know, that's my problem with seeing some of this stuff. It drives me nuts when I hear all these stories and people hyping crap news, you know, media outlets. I mean, mainstream media hyping lies. I mean, look what happened to Chris Cuomo. I mean, CNN just suspended him indefinitely. Why? For lying. Okay. You know, he was their number one anchor. Lying. There you go. And you wonder why your credibility's in the toilet. Okay. So, Life Force Unleashed can't even unload boats, and people think they're going to protect them. Yeah, no kidding. Okie Forge says eBay has good buys on gold and silver. Okay, I will get into this. Guys, be very, very careful when you buy precious metals off of eBay. Okay. It doesn't take anything for somebody to set up an eBay store. And you could melt. I mean, there's a video, not a video, there's a guy on YouTube. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but he literally melts down tin cans and makes aluminum bars out of them. Okay. Nice, shiny silver, polish them up, and everything like that, look like aluminum bars. No big deal. For the untrained eye, I'm not saying this guy does it by any means, okay? But what I'm saying is on eBay, you could find very quickly that somebody's literally melting down aluminum cans, making them into little round discs and everything. You know, it doesn't take too much to make a sand mold. And, you know, selling you aluminum discs as silver. You know, my recycled beer cans can wind up being, you know, $24 and some odd cents change. Be very, very careful on eBay. Okay. If it, again, I'm going to tell you this, if it looks too good to be true, it certainly is. If it's not from a coin dealer, certainly no. And if you see something that is supposedly from a coin dealer on eBay, go type that coin dealer's name into DuckDuckGo or something like that and make sure it's actually a legitimate coin dealer. You know, it's not just some guy who set up an eBay store. Just being careful. Personally, I won't buy off eBay. I only buy from the bullion dealers, and I bought some from a local coin shop that's now out of business. Let's see. And there you go. I get down further, and Robert Bates, only buy precious metal from reputable dealers and mints, no eBay. I agree, sir. Okay. North Shore saying Slovenia, no jab, no fuel. Okay, I haven't heard that. The only one I heard was what Christian said out of India. So North Shore, if there's something new, that gets even, you know, zzz. Trish Cole, jungle juice. I didn't create the term. That's actually North Shore's term. I just like it. So he's a little more creative in that than I am. Let's see. And we're going to get shot to the bottom. So back to the top we go. Leia Sim, something like that. Pinball Sunday is Toys for Tots Chicago Motorcycle Parade. I'll let you ride. No, I ain't riding that way. So, but thank you for the offer. Charlie Love, what's going on with the seed exchange? Okay, so last I heard is one of the boxes I sent has left South Carolina and is now in Georgia. The other box I knew was in South Carolina, and then I don't have the lists for Voodoo's, Unique Rabbits, or Treasure Seekers, but as people send me the names, I forward them over to them if they're not on one of my boxes, so they can track them. So they're all still moving, guys, but I'm going to ask, like I do every time, please, when you get the box, please let me know you got it so we can track this thing, and please move it along quickly. I mean, even on my box that's made it to Georgia, it has seen now 20 people, okay? And we started this, the beginning of September. It's now the end of November, so that's 3 months. I'm the 73rd person on this list. So we've still got 53 people to go through on that list. And I know a lot of us would like to plant in spring. I totally understand that, the post office takes time. Like I've asked everybody, please send this priority mail. It's 2 to 3 days. We should be able to get through 2 people a week. Okay. And if we've done on this one box 13 people or 20 people, we've had 13 weeks, we should be through 26. So please move it through as quick as you guys can. I appreciate everybody doing it. I tried to set up the lists so it had the shortest distance possible to go. We're not going from Tennessee to Oklahoma and back to South Carolina. I'm keeping it just maneuvering around so even the post office can move it through quicker. But please move it through quickly. The other thing, somebody brought this up the other day. Guys, try to keep some diversity in the seed box. If there's 8 kinds of tomatoes in there already, we don't need to put 9 and 10 in there. Somebody said, I think there were 12 different kinds of radishes in one of the seed boxes. try to put something in there to keep the pot or keep the box diverse, so people can plant a multitude of different things. That's all I'm asking. Okay. All right. Deborah Miller, let's talk happy things. I started with happy things. I started with probably some of the best news I could give. Vicky and Marianne Bradford, do you think that we will have a complete collapse? That's crystal ball stuff. There's way too many variables. Goes on. I mean, again, I prepare for a complete collapse. I pray to God we don't have one. But I mean, if we do, okay, I'm in better shape than most people are. If we don't, fine, I'm in better shape than most people are. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, I am not one of these people that's going, yay, let's have total anarchy. No, I mean, not that we're ever going to see normal again, but I sure as hell do not want to see exactly what we've seen in the first 11 months of the Biden administration. Okay. High gas prices, high food prices, high housing prices, more people on the streets, unemployment, mandates, all this sort of stuff. I mean, come on. The guy ran on the fact of we're going to end COVID in my first 100 days. And I hate to tell you this, Joker, but there's more people that have died from it this year than have died from it last year. And oh, by the way, you have the vaccine. So that we didn't have last year. So way to go, Joe. Jen Boyles, who's doing what in food preservation lately? This time of year, I mean, obviously the gardens are all gone. I was making more fertilizer today, coffee grounds, eggshells, that sort of stuff. So making some more of my dry fertilizer to get go. So I finally got my garlic on the ground. But yeah, food preservation. I mean, at this point, you're probably into, canning meats if you find something on sale. Or, I mean, maybe if you're finding fruits and vegetables on sale, doing some canning and stuff like that, or maybe some dehydrating of it. I think we're pretty much past the preservation time of year. At least we are in this house. Prepper Trucking, don't talk about the pertinent info. That is saying the Constitution is irrelevant, is it not? I don't understand the question. Jasper Knoll, how did my second planting of potatoes go? It went okay. I only had like a dozen plants or whatever put in. I got about 8 pounds of tomatoes. It was okay. I mean, they were smaller potatoes, just because by the time they weren't fully, I mean, the plants hadn't started dying off by the time we had our first freeze here. So I had to pull them once we had our first freeze, the plants all died off, and that was it. But yeah, I didn't quite get a second full growing season. But I got more potatoes, not a ton, but another bag of potatoes. The Purring Lady, what is on my bucket list? Mrs. P's bucket list. Well, what was always on mine was traveling to Australia. I don't see that in my future. Mrs. P's bucket list definitely has travel on it, because she talks about it all the time. It's like, oh, I want to travel, I want to travel, I want to travel. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, not happening in the world right now. But I mean, we're not difficult people or anything like that. I mean, one of my bucket list items was to get out and live in the country and basically have what I have. So, that was it. Get out of the rat race of the city. So, I mean, that's taken care of. But my daughter's through college. A lot of the things that I was hoping to accomplish, I've now accomplished. I don't have any crazy ones. I'm not one of these people, I want to go to space. I want to play on the PGA Tour or something. No, I don't have those kind of, my bucket list stuff has always been realistic. And Australia was pretty much the biggest stretch. So if I don't get it, I don't get it. If I do, I do. I know one of the things we do want to do is when all this craziness ends, we do want to go back to Russia because Mrs. P hasn't seen family in 6 years. And we'd also like to go meet Constantine personally, and I'd like to go see more of Moscow. So we'll see, because last time I was there, my focus was a little bit more on that one than it was on the city. So, so that was it. No worries. My 401k has a bond option. Would it be safe to roll it over into the bond option so you don't lose it? Okay. Let me give you this. The bond option isn't necessarily quote unquote safe. All right. Because bond prices go up and down too. Now, bond prices do not go up and down with the volatility of stock prices. They are less volatile. But if you know what the difference is between APR, annual percentage rate, and APY, annual percentage yield, okay, this is what I'm talking about. When a bond is priced, $1,000 bond, and let's say it's at 1%, okay, so that $1,000 bond is going to pay you $10 worth of interest a year. Well, if interest rates go up to $1.25 or to 1.25%, for example, the fair value of the bond is going to go down so they can keep the APY the same. Otherwise, there'd be no market for it. So now you've got to sell the bond that you bought for $1,000 for, say, $950, because that's the only way anybody be interested in it, because for $950, they're still getting that 1% coupon on the $1,000. They'd still get that 10% payment, or $10 payment, which that's where your APY comes from. So yes, don't think putting it into bond options so you don't lose it. It'll have less volatility, but yeah, as interest rates move, so will the price of that bond fund. Okay, it's not like a CD where you put $1,000 in, you're going to get $1,000 out. Now, if you hold the bond to maturity, if you buy a bond and you hold it to maturity, yes, you will get your principal back. Bond funds, like in your 401k, do not have a maturity date. They are a basket of bonds. So there's all sorts of different, and that's where your net asset value changes. To answer your question, it's going to be less risk, less return, but it's not a quote unquote safe option. Okay, there is still the possibility of you losing money in it. Hope that explains it. I'm sorry for getting a little wonky, but I probably confused the hell out of people, but I tried. Small family, small budget. Did me and Mrs. P buy extra turkey and can any? No, actually, we didn't. But what is today? Tuesday. We actually ate the last of our Thanksgiving dinner today. We've had turkey for dinner, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, she made something different because she was sick of turkey. And today we had turkey soup. So, yeah, we're turkeyed out for a while. I'll get another turkey when it comes time for Christmas. I don't have any room in the freezer right now, so I wouldn't have any choice but to cook 2 turkeys, and with one in the roaster, I can't do the second one. So, would love to, but no, didn't. Dan Rose, since you were in the Army, what's your favorite general, live or dead? Mine is Patton, so is mine, okay? Hard charging, keep going, no bullshit, okay? I mean, yes, Patton had more balls than I do, but I mean, he's a good role model. I would absolutely agree with you on Patton. Montana Grizz fan, I forgot to say to everyone, have a Merry Christmas, and our Jewish friends a Happy Hanukkah. Since I was told holidays started yesterday, love the movie Defiance. Yeah, a lot of you guys seem to go watch Defiance today. Hope you enjoyed the movie. But I mean, I think it's probably one of the most pertinent movies to watch, to go, okay, this is what SHTF looks like, guys. Okay, because that's a true story. LF, hi Pinball. Purchased the Eco today. Do you run bi-weekly tests? The 1-800 number, folks were sketchy today. Hope to have zero issues with it or the solar panels. Canadian 2K on sale. Okay. I check it every once in a while. Literally, the charge in there is supposed to stay good for a year. I had charged it. It sat for a couple of months. I went up and pulled it out before we had the get together in October. Still had 99% charge. It held everything fine. There was not a problem there to it. I don't worry about testing it often. They're just charged and ready to go. But yeah, I mean, probably a good idea to test it once a quarter just to make sure it's still holding charge. But yeah, I haven't had any problems with it. So, and again, I don't have the EcoFlow panels either, guys. I have the 12C van and work fine, not a problem. Dove J, there is over 800 medical personnel at Fort Bragg refusing. Okay, yeah, that's going to be interesting. With the Marine Corps, was the deadline was yesterday, I believe, to get the jungle juice, and was it something like 8,000 Marines have still refused. So, it's going to be interesting because, we've already had the 100+ employees mandate ruled down, struck down. Now we've had the healthcare struck down, which the healthcare was the CMS part, which was Medicare, Medicaid, so government. So now, if those have both been struck down for constitutionality reasons, well, if CMS is not, then how are federal employees and how are federal contractors, because it'd be the same rule, okay? And then how would the military? Now, like I said before, there's a difference between, a privately owned hospital can still put mandates in. They can still say, hey, everybody in here has to shave their head, and that's a condition for employment. That's fine. The federal government can't do that. If it's ruled unconstitutional for CMS, the way I read the law, it should read unconstitutional for federal employees, and therefore it should read unconstitutional for the military, because the military is under federal law. So we'll see. But yeah. Steve Hill, I told my doctor, my body, my choice. That really ticked him off. Tough. Hey, doc, you may check my body, but last time I checked, it's still my body. Okay. I get to make all the decisions. You have the expertise, but I get to tell you what you can do and what you can't. Okay. You may recommend something, doesn't mean I have to listen to you. Somebody may recommend the lobster platter on the restaurant at or on the menu at the restaurant. Doesn't mean I have to order it. Let's see. SH, financial falls slow like Venezuela. Does anyone take the lead and slow it? If so, who? Cruz, Paul. Okay. All right. I'll try to decipher this. Yeah, we could see a slow fall like Venezuela. All right. If you take a look, I mean, you guys know what's going on in Zimbabwe. They've got what, a 10 or it's $100 trillion note in Venezuela, I think now, or not Venezuela, in Zimbabwe. Venezuela keeps chopping zeros off the end of their currency. The lira in Turkey hit an all-time low today. One Turkish lira is now worth 7 cents in the States. So for all those of you guys in Eastern Europe that like to take vacations in Turkey, bet you can do it really cheap right now. Right now, we're not seeing the dollar really weaken that much. I mean, it's a little bit, it's bouncing around, but I mean, it's still staying up in that low 90s range, which, is still relatively stable. We'll see what happens. Okay. As for who takes the lead, let's hope to God it's not Elizabeth Warren. That's for sure. But, who takes the lead on bringing us out of this? I mean, right now there's nobody that can. I mean, we've got to change over we got to change over control of Congress first, and then we'll see who's in charge of the finance committee, who's in charge of the banking committee, stuff like that. That'll be the difference. So right now there isn't anybody that can do it because the Democrats have control, and Democrats are hell bent on destroying the dollar. Wilderness Woman. My work was told Cisco won't have many of our food products until at least March. Okay, and if you guys are familiar with who Cisco is a big restaurant provider. So, yeah, you know, all those, sorry, you're at Taco Bell, we don't have ground beef. Sorry, you're at, Kentucky Fried Chicken and we don't have chicken. I will never forget going to Arby's and Arby's telling me they were out of roast beef. Uh, but yeah, this is the stuff that's going on, guys. Okay, and again, here's somebody who's telling you they work there, and this is what's going on. All right, we're gonna shoot down all the way to the bottom again. Let's see if I get us back to the top. Okay. Oh, that's cute. A maniac. How to save potatoes for the winter. Cardboard box in the basement cement floor or not. If your basement stays cold, good. Okay. Which I'm assuming it does. You're in Maine. As long as it doesn't freeze down there, you don't want it to freeze. But if you can stay, down in the 50s, that would be good. In the dark, if you're going to put them in a cardboard box, put your potato not on the floor. Put them on the box. Put a layer of straw on the bottom of the box. Put your potatoes in. Do not have any potatoes touch each other. Put some straw, some sawdust, some shredded up newspaper on. Put the next level of potatoes and keep doing that. You should be okay. I mean, your basement up there, because of your weather, will make for a fine root cellar, because what you're looking for is dark, cool. For me, I've got to buried them out in the yard. I don't have a basement, so that's how I'm getting them underground. But yeah, I mean, in a cardboard box, just as long as the potatoes aren't touching each other, you keep them in the dark, you should be good. Daniel Jones, will you take Mrs. P to Moab, Utah, or have you already? We've already done that. When we lived in Salt Lake City, we'd go down toward Vegas, so we'd hit St. George, we'd hit Moab, we'd hit Mesquite. I mean, you name it, that whole thing. So yeah, we've done all of Utah. Hobby Garden for Health. What is a good pressure canner besides the All-American canner? I have a Presto, and it works fine. Okay. I know everybody's like, oh, you need to go out and spend the $300. I bought my Presto canner. I think it was $80 or something like that, and it works every time. Fine, not a problem. So, don't. Again, if you're, I'll say this just like somebody asked me on weapons once. You have two choices. You can either, if you really want the All-American canner, you can save and save and save and save until you've got the $300-400 it costs for one. Or you can go out and you can buy the $80 Presto and then save for your All-American canner. Because what would you rather have? Because if SHTF happens tomorrow, okay, we never know the day the EMP goes off, the asteroid hits, the Martians invade, whatever would be. Okay, we're never going to know exactly what day is. But I know tomorrow I will have that pressure canner in the house. I don't have $275. I just need $25 more. The best pressure canner, the best anything, is the one you have. Five Virgins prepper, the cities are doomed. Yeah, I did. And I think every prepper knows that, even the ones that live in the city, because that's where chaos is going to start instantly. And anybody who doesn't believe that hasn't been paying attention. I mean, Minneapolis, Portland, Kenosha, New York, St. Louis, Atlanta, Louisville. I mean, those places go off like a tinderbox in nothing, over a jury verdict or, a drug addict, getting arrested, whatever it would be. Imagine what's going to happen in those cities when something serious happens. Okay, something seriously bad happens. Now, instead of 2, 3, 4, 500 people running up and down the street, now you've got 20, 30,000 people running up and down the street. You know, there aren't 20,000 people in my county. You know, certainly not around where I live. If I see two people walk down the street, it's like, okay, what's going on? Dottie A, did you see Ice Age Farmer's new video from today? It's about all the countries are going to be cryptocurrency by next year, 2022. They want to control what you buy and eat. Yeah, not going to happen. Okay. Just not feasibly going to happen. Yes, the countries want to do it, but the first thing that has to happen to be into a complete cryptocurrency, the entire world has to go bankrupt. All right. That's it. So that means that they've got to figure out how to kick everybody out of their house. All, say every bit of money that you ever borrowed is now forgiven. But in the process, we're also taking your house, taking your car, taking this. Oh, but you know what? That also means that the retirement plan that you had is now bankrupt, so you don't get any of your money back. Before they can do something like that, they've got to completely collapse the world economy. Okay, it's not going to happen that fast. So I've got the greatest respect for Christian in the world, and I know he does his research, but 2022 is way too fast for that to happen. Ace Maduro, if the world gets somewhat normal again, you better take Mrs. P traveling. I want to, trust me. And I will. The big thing is you got to be able to go somewhere and get there, because I'm not going on vacation going, cool, I'm quarantined for 2 weeks in a hotel room. Okay, that's a waste of time. And then I'm not coming back here and going, gee, sorry, sir, we can't let you back in the United States again. So, yeah, those are the issues that, you got to look at. Hutch John, congratulations on 50 great live streams. Yeah, when I was putting this together, I was like, damn, this is the 50th one on this channel. And mind you, we've missed some on this channel because they've been on the other while I've been in jail. So, yeah, I can't believe there's 50 live streams on this channel on Tuesday, let alone the Saturday ones. So, yeah, still here. Can't believe you guys haven't abandoned me yet. Healthy disrespect for authority. Have I heard about goldbacks? And if so, what do you think? Yeah, what is it? New York, Utah's got them. New Hampshire's got them. There's a few states that have them. The only thing, they're fine. The only thing that I look at is you're paying a hefty premium for the teeny tiny amount of gold that's in them to have it. So, yeah, to have something, I almost think it's right now more of a novelty than anything else. It could eventually turn into currency, but right now it's not a smart investment. Let's put it that way. T-Rex, you asked Constantine. Constantine is the Inside Russia channel, former Letters to King. You hear me talk about it all the time. He's a friend of mine who's in Moscow. Nest Peeper, Mrs. P, the best travel souvenir of my life. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. Lucky Dame brings up a good point. Folks, do not share personal info in chat. This is the internet. Yeah, guys, I know I've said it before. If people want to communicate outside the channel, I've got no problem facilitating it. If XYZ123 wants to connect with 123 XYZ, two different people, just both send me emails and say, hey, I want this person to have my email. Can you share it? And when the other person says, yes, I want to do it too, then I'll share your two emails. I've got no problem doing something like that. Okay. I'm not just going to do it. One person say, hey, can I have so-and-so's email? No, because I don't have everybody's email. I don't keep them. But if somebody says, hey, this other person's going to contact you and send the email, please share mine. Yeah, then I'll leave those in my inbox for a couple of days. If I don't see it in a couple of days, I'm done. Montana Grizz fan, I want to take a St. Petersburg River cruise down to Moscow. That may be a long trip because we took the high-speed train from Moscow to St. Petersburg, what was it, honey? It was about 6 hour train trip, about 5 hours. Yeah, that was on one of these bullet trains. So if you're talking about a river cruise, I don't know if there might be. I'm not sure if there's a river that runs from St. Petersburg all the way down to Moscow. That's going to be a freaking long trip. Peter Piper, do I do any sprouts or microgreens in the winter? No, because it won't be too long till I start planting my seedlings for spring. We'll get those started beginning of February. Right now, I'm going through holidays, and I'm still putting my gardens to bed outside. Let alone, I mean, tomorrow's supposed to be nice, so I'm going to go get a load of manure and go work out in my gardens. I have that advantage here because it's supposed to be in the 60s, down in the 40s lately, but it's going to be in the 60s and take advantage of nice weather. But no, I don't do the microgreens thing and stuff like that. One of the reasons I don't, my house is not that big. Okay. I mean, it's just a cabin, and I've got two windows. There's three windows in the house that face either south or east. One's my bedroom window, one's back in the kitchen, and one's in the living room. That's it. And all of them have stuff in front of them. It's not like I can put anything in the windows. Eat 5 virgin prepper, eat more rabbit. Yes, just don't eat only rabbit. You can still die from all that lean meat. Kathy Acevedo, we had ribs for Thanksgiving. Well, hope you saved the ribs and made bone meal out of them. Buckwheat, the dates on canned food hasn't gone up in 2 years. Yeah, we were in the store the other day, and what was it Mrs. P saw? It was, what was it? I think it was Country Ham. Or no, actually I was with Mountain Top Prepper. We were in Walmart, and he was flipping through some Country Ham, and sure enough, there was one that the expiration date was September of 2021. I mean, this was November, but it was still on the shelf in Walmart. Duckman, yes, smoke one and can it. Makes good sandwiches. Yeah, that would be an interesting idea. I should have done that. Smoke the turkey and can it, because Mountain Top Prepper just cut down another hickory tree and gave me a bunch of wood for the smoker again. There you go. Reaching cold mountains before you. General Patton said he couldn't accomplish what he did without the third ACR. Yeah, brave rifles. There you go. David Williams, there's still plenty of turkeys left. They're all in Washington. Yeah, I think it's more like the turkey manure that's left in Washington. Steve Hill, have you ever considered ham radio? When the grid goes down, that's the only game in town. We've talked about it quite a bit. And like I said, it depends on the situation. Do I see ham radio as good? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. But is it for everybody? The thing is, you got to learn how to use it. You just don't go out and buy your Baofeng, put it up on the shelf somewhere, and go, okay, when the time comes that I'll just turn it on. It's not, like a radio. You got to learn how to use the thing for it to be any sort of worthwhile. And then, in order to use it, you have to get your license and everything like that. Is it a worthwhile thing? Yes. Is it a high priority for me? No. Ace Maduro, wish we had Patton back again instead of Milli Vanilli. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. Okay, somebody corrected me there. Paladin won 5,000 Marines. Okay, I wasn't sure. Too many different stories trying to read all day long, get my numbers straight. Huts John, my instruction book says to run my gas generator at least 10 minutes under load each month. Okay, yeah. If that's what your instruction manual says, then follow the instruction manual. Some you have to, some you don't. I like to try to run mine about every 6 months. Just make sure everything goes there. Run it, like I said, for about 10 minutes, and that's it. No need to burn all the gas, but Yeah, use something for it. It's like, hey, I got to go out and cut a couple of pieces of wood, hook up your power saw to it, cut up a couple of pieces of wood, and you're all set. Uh, Chris Dupree, problem with the military jab is lots have already done it. My nephew in the Corps did, sadly. Yeah, that's the problem. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know, I mean, once you've done it, you're committed to it. So, and it's like anybody else. You look at Angry Prepper. He's sticking to his guns. It's like, okay, if the fire department says that we ain't changing, then he goes, fine, I retire. Okay. It depends on your age. Some people can do that. I mean, at my age, okay, fine. I mean, I'm in good enough shape where I can, like I've told you guys, tell clients, no, I'm not working for you if you're going to require it. Somebody who's 30 years old and just starting their career, maybe not. I get that. My whole point always has been it's a choice. As long as, no matter what, you have a choice. You can say, I'm not doing it no matter what. I'll go find another job. That's the thing. Some people don't want to go find another job. Well, then your other option is to do it. You made that choice. That's always been where I stand. As long as you're allowed to do it by your own choice, I'm fine with it. Okay. When somebody else is forcing you to do something, that's when I got a problem. Yeah, Sunset. The only immunity is for the farm companies and the executive branch of the government, but that's it. Cindy Rice. Even my pulmonologist says it's my choice. Right? Yes. Okay. There's a doctor that gets it. Lisa Bracy. I really don't want to sound stupid. What's that? What I'm assuming SHTF. Shit hits the fan. Okay, that's what you'll hear that abbreviation. You'll also hear the abbreviation Teowaki. Okay, Teotwaki. If I try to do that quick. The end of the world as we know it. And the other one you'll hear a lot is MAG, and that is Mutual Assistance Group. So those are ones that are very common in vernacular. SHTF. There you go. Okay. Kevin Grip says no dominant currency out there yet. Well, the U.S. dollar is still the world reserve currency, but there's no way in the world they're going to make a U.S. dollar crypto and China is going to accept it, okay? Because China wants the yuan. This is why I'm saying it's not going to happen in 2022. We will have a war before there is a world currency, okay? There has to be, because you have too many governments that want to be the one in charge. I mean, leaving Biden out of this, okay? Do you honestly think that the majority of countries in the world are going to go, oh, okay, you know what? Xi Jinping can run the whole world, no problem. Biden may say yes, okay, because, big guy gets 10%. But, I'm betting there's a whole lot of countries that are going to go, hell no. We shot to the bottom again. Back to the top. Okay. Wow. Paladin 1. Joe says no new lockdowns. That's great news. Yeah. Joe also said no mandates. Okay, look where that got us. Joe doesn't, Joe's got to check which way the wind blows before, making a decision, because nothing that comes out of his mouth today means a hill beans tomorrow. Lisa Preps, scariest moment of my adult life. I guess there'd be two. I was walking down the street one night in Pontiac, Michigan, and a guy came after me with a gun. I'm not the fastest runner in the world, but man, I'll tell you, I was able to run like hell that night. or a time in Indiana where I almost drowned in a lake. And I literally thought I was going to drown. So, I mean, when you're there going, I can't swim anymore. I'm at muscle failure, and it's just like my life's over. And I floated. Sergeant Prepper, Putin to make an urgent announcement at 7 a.m. Eastern. Okay, the only thing I'd love to know what it is. I did say he was saying that they were going to introduce their hypersonic missiles soon, that they just tested and it worked. So yeah, if there's something going on, I haven't heard about it yet. So, but good to know. I'll be up. Holy crap, it's 9 o'clock. All right. I'll do one more here real quick and I'll let you get over because I know Angry Prepper's on. What is Mrs. P's favorite Christmas food, Christmas dessert? Well, I don't know. Somebody sent us a fruitcake from Texas and she's already eaten half of it. So I'd say fruitcake's a good one. But yeah, I've got to say, because again, we do an Eastern European Christmas, I've got to say it's herring. So, which is my favorite for Christmas too. So, all right, guys, have a great Tuesday evening. We will see you all on the other side. Thanks much. Tomorrow's the 1st of December. Have a good one. Pinball out.